Hello and welcome to another episode of Deb's Artsy Life. I know it has been a month of Sundays since I posted a video. Life has just been very hectic and I've kind of just not known what I wanted to post about or whatever, and I just haven't been in the mood. And first of all, I want to say that we did have some storm damage. And so I was without internet for 2 weeks. I just got internet back yesterday. And so, well, it wasn't quite 2 weeks. It would have been 2 weeks Friday, but I did get it back yesterday. And what had happened was the whole line was severed. So we didn't have internet for a very long time. And that's one of the reasons I didn't post. I would find myself wanting to. I wanted to do Vlogtober so much. And I'm still hoping to do several videos during the month of October. I don't know if I'll do it every day because I do have that problem of not being able to film a video whenever there's anybody in the house. So we'll see how that goes. But I've got a lot to share with you. A lot of whips, works in progress, many of those. And a finished object, which I hope you can see in the background. This has a story behind it, let me tell you. I'm going to slide over so you can see it. But this is the shawl, and it is knitted, and it is using the Red Heart Super Saver Biddy stripes in the colorway rainbow, and I absolutely love this. I don't know if I'll ever wear it actually, but I love the fabric. I love it. And I haven't washed it yet and put in some dryer sheets to soften it up and dry it. But I have to tell you the story behind it real quick. I almost just, that's another reason I didn't post for so long, because I was so fed up with my knitting. Because I'll tell you what happened. I had worked so long on this, and I had gotten to about right here, going this way. I mean, it had taken ages and ages. Knitting is a very slow process compared to crochet, as I've told you before, but I got to this point and something happened. I can't even remember what it was now, but I ended up, oh, I know. I tried to bind off at that point, and I don't know what I did, but it's like my brain and my hands did not work together. It's like I had forgotten how to bind off. And I was just going to do a regular knitted bind off. That's really the only one I've learned thus far. I'm getting ready to finish off a project with a stretchy bind off, and I'll be following Fiber Spider's tutorial on that. But this was just a regular bind off, but something happened to my brain and I did it completely wrong. I managed to get the thing off the needles, but it was horrible, and I was so disgusted and disappointed, and I just cannot tell you what that did to me. I was just ready to quit knitting, and I've been there a couple of times over this knitting journey, but well, more than a couple. But this was the most serious of all. I mean, I was really fed up. And in fact, I put this up for several weeks. I put all of my knitting needles in a drawer, got them out of my way. I was never going to knit again. But one evening, I came home from work early or something, and I thought, I can do this. I'm going to take this off the needles, and I had even put on a reverse single crochet crab stitch border for this. I mean, it was horrible. It was a piece of cloth that I would never have gotten out of the closet again, and I knew that, and I didn't want to waste this beautiful yarn and all that time. So I came home from work one day, and I can't remember if I was working from home or just took time off. I can't remember, but my husband was out in the yard, and I just sat down at a table in the front bedroom. I think I filmed from there a couple of times, and I just sat down and took my time, spread it all out, And I want y'all to know it restored my faith in knitting, because I was able to take all those reverse single crochets out. I frogged all that and then pulled the stitches back and did away with the bind off and frogged all that. And I was able to very patiently and carefully thread all those stitches back on the needles and carry on. And I cannot tell you what that accomplishment did for me. I mean, it was as if I had climbed Mount Everest and gotten to the top and planted my flag. I mean, I was over the moon because I was able to do that. And the way I did it was each stitch I would undo, I would, not undo, but I would like slide them onto the needle, a few of them at a time. And then I would put a crochet hook into the stitch so that I could slide, the stitches on and get them even to the right needle and not frog or loosen any more stitches. So that crochet hook was holding my place in the stitches, and that's how I did it. And it was just one of the greatest accomplishments of my knitting and crochet journey. I was so thankful. And then I finished this, and my only regret is that I wish I'd made it a little bit longer. I thought it was long enough, and it really is, but I would like it just about 4 or 5 inches longer. And the next one I make, I'll do that. But I was just so anxious to get this off my needles and to bind it off correctly and to have it. What I was going to do is put it on the table at the Fall Into Art Festival. And I've talked to y'all about this festival many times before, and you know the stress that I put myself under. And I have to tell you, the storm, Hurricane Helene, came through, and we had a lot of damage. We really did. We were one of the harder hit areas. I'm not in Tennessee. I'm in Virginia. The southwest corner of Virginia really got a hit. And so my thoughts and prayers are with Florida right now, with Milton that's coming through, and certainly with Asheville and Boone, North Carolina. Those are two of my favorite places. Boone especially is so near and dear to my heart. It's like my second home. If I could ever live anywhere, it would be, other than here, it would be Boone. I love that area, and I've spent so much of my life in that town and just adore it. And the fact that I've not been back since, of course, the hurricane went through, but I've seen the pictures, and I cannot fathom what they went through. So anyway, my heart goes out to them. And if you don't live in the United States, you may not know what I'm referring to, but I'm sure you've heard of Hurricane Helene, because it was just massive. And we had a tree fall on the house, and I was actually sitting at the window where it fell, and the globe on the ceiling fan just shattered right in front of me onto the floor, and I mean in little tiny pieces. And thank God I or the dog was not under that light when it happened. I'm just so thankful. I have been so blessed and so thankful for every little thing. We didn't have power, like I said, for almost 2 weeks. No, we had no power for about a week. We had no internet for almost 2 weeks, but the power did come back on. But we take so much for granted, and we're so dependent on the internet and on our electricity. So it was tough. But anyway, I got into all that to say this: the Fall Into Art Festival, y'all, that I have prepared for since May of 2023 and stressed about and dreaded and worried about. I have put so much thought into that one day. I could not tell you. I mean, it was like it was sitting on my shoulders no matter what I was doing, because I wanted to have enough product, to make a good showing. And I don't know. I don't even know why I did it. I just always wanted to sell my artwork. But I'll tell you what this taught me. That festival was canceled. That festival was canceled by the Virginia Department of Emergency Management. And of course, that was the right decision, because after that hurricane came through on Friday, the week before that festival was to be on the next Saturday, October 5th, I could not focus on anything related to that festival preparation, because it just felt wrong, to be even thinking about doing something like that with the destruction that we were seeing. And with everybody hurting, you don't set up and do a festival. But, I spent all this money on framing and copying my paintings and putting them in the little plastic sleeves. And I mean, you just cannot imagine. I would spend all day, a lot of Saturdays there toward the end, preparing for this and getting everything ready. And I spent money, I spent time, and I spent so much headspace was given to this day. And I think what it taught me is we can make our plans, but the Lord directs our steps. Only the Lord knows, only God knows what our lives are going to hold. And we can plan and plan and plan, but He's in control. And, I guess I learned through this that I don't really want to sell my art. I don't. It causes me so much stress. It causes me grief. And, it's just not worth it. I was so relieved and so thrilled. First, I was mad at myself for putting myself through that kind of preparation and stress, because when you have a full-time job and 2 grandchildren, there's just only so many hours in the day. But, I don't know. It shifted my whole perspective. Not just the festival being canceled, but the thought of, if a tree had fallen, and I know I've filmed videos from my sunroom, so the room I'm talking about. If that tree had fallen on the sunroom instead of the living room, y'all, I would have lost thousands and thousands of dollars worth of art supplies. I would have lost beautiful stained glass windows, my $3,000 electric piano. I mean, I would have lost so much. And, I'm just so grateful. I am so grateful. But it put things in perspective for me, because that's just stuff. And I just hoard art supplies and yarn, y'all. I don't know if you do, but I just hoard it. I just love color. And, I want any supply that will put color on a piece of paper, or, any color of yarn that comes out new, I want it. But, stuff is so unimportant when a disaster strikes. What's so important is the little things that we take for granted every day, like being able to take a shower, our safety, and our loved ones' safety. Our lives are so much more important than our stuff. And I think that's why the Bible says, don't lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. And I'm the world's worst for hoarding art supplies, books, and yarn. Those are my things: books, art supplies, and yarn. Addictions. I mean, I'm addicted to those things. But I'm just very, very grateful. I'm grateful that the sunroom was spared. And we have these big, tall trees outside that sunroom. And all the thoughts, of all my art supplies just about are stored out in the open in the sunroom. You know, I've got all my pencils in baskets and um, cups and things like that, all my colored pencils. I just think of the destruction, and I cannot imagine. And you know, so many people were losing, like in Asheville, Boone, other parts of Tennessee, they were losing everything. They were losing everything. Their belongings in Florida, they were showing, you know, on the news, their belongings were just out in the street. And that could happen at any moment. I mean, not that you want to live in fear, I don't mean that, but we just don't know. And we've got to hold our possessions lightly, not tightly. And I've been really struggling with, you know, wrapping my head around that and thinking about that. So, you know, we just don't know. But I want to show you some works in progress. On a better note, before the hurricane, and I've got so much to catch you up on because I've not posted in so long, so I'll try to be a little quick. But I went on I was so wanting to do granny squares. I was just dying to do granny squares, and I'll tell you what started it. Check this out. Okay, sorry about that. Right in the middle of my conversation with you, my daughter called. Let me see if I can fix this. I want to show you all my granny squares. Look at this. Look at this luscious stack of granny squares. Now, mind you, my ends are not sewn in, but I took this yarn, the Red Heart Bitty Stripes, in the rainbow colorway, and I made this granny square with it. And then I just put different colors. But what's so fun about it is each one ends up being a different color because of the striping in the yarn. So look at that. Is that not cool? So I have this whole stack, and I'm probably going to, I was going to make a bag, but I'm kind of burned out on bags for a bit, and I think I'm going to make a blanket. But so I've been doing that, and I will just take it with me, one ball of the yarn, which I have this right here left, and I'll just maybe do one at work during a break, or, you know, I just love having a little project like that. And when you finish a granny square, you feel like you've accomplished something, but it's small. And I also went and I just got all excited with the colors at Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. It's a good name. But this is, I just went and got some variegated colorways to play with. I think I had shown you this one. It's Orange Burst. But it's just so pretty. And so I've just been making granny squares. Here's one I put together with that. Well, I didn't tell you what color this was, did I? It is Royal Gorge. And I put it together with turquoise, linen, desert glaze, and hot red. This is the red, hot red, desert glaze, and turquoise and linen. And all of this is Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. And I just had so much fun playing with it. I did 2 different granny squares. That one turned out kind of funny. Well, for one thing, well, no, that is the right side. I guess it looks funny because I haven't sewn the ends in. But anyway, and then I also put this together. This is the right side. Well, I think it could be either side. It's not showing up as turquoise as it is, but this is the color, I think it's peacock. I love this yarn, but it's more of a turquoise, green, blue color. I'm filming on my phone tonight because I have a new tripod, and this is so much easier than getting my computer out and putting the webcam on and then putting the light on and getting everything at the right height. I really like this format, so I'm going to try this. And let's see, this is the major one. Look at this, guys. I absolutely love this. That's with that orange burst that I just showed you. But look at that center. I don't know if this will show up. Let me turn it this way. Well, it shouldn't have that hole in it, but anyway. I don't know if you can see that. It's like an 8-point star. Well, this pattern is a paid-for pattern, okay? And it's called Sunburst Lovers Granny Square. And I notice my picture is backwards, but anyway, Sunburst Lovers Granny Square, and it is by Cornwall Crochet. And you can Google that, I'm sure, and find the paid-for pattern. But I just had to have it because I want to do that center. And so I made this square. This is, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. It's the coffee colorway. And this is Premier Basics Dijon Mustard. And this is Hobby Lobby's, I love this yarn, Orange Burst. But I just thought that was so fallish and so pretty. And I'll admit, I don't really know what I'm going to do with these squares yet, but it's so much fun to make them. And you feel like you're accomplishing something. Okay, here is another granny square that I've been working on. This is also the Orange Burst and linen. And then this is the Caron Colorama Haze in the colorway Radiant. And I just think that is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Well, I got an email or a Facebook post or something that our local hospice wants blankets, crocheted or knitted blankets for the patients. And I started doing that right after I learned to crochet. After Mama passed in 2018, I wanted to donate, blankets to hospice. And I donated about 3 or 4, and then I kind of got out of it because I moved away from that local hospice where Mama had stayed. And so this is a different hospice organization, but it's local to me where I live. At that time, the one that she stayed in was local to where I worked. But when I moved jobs, I didn't ever go down that way, and so I didn't continue donating to them. But our local hospice has sent a call out for those blankets. And y'all, I love making those 36-inch by 36-inch hospice blankets. That's the size they want. And you just keep going round and round until this gets big enough. And so that is what I want to do. I would so much rather give away my makes than I would to sell them. I mean, there's no pressure and stress in that. And it's just joy. And that's what crafting should be. And I was just putting way too much pressure on myself. So now, downstairs in the basement, I've got a whole tub full. You know how you get those plastic tubs with the lids. I've got a tub of bags. I've got a tub of framed artwork. And I've got like a whole rack filled with copies of my artwork. They're kind of like cards, but I think I can sell them at the local bookstore downtown. That's what I had been doing. But anyway, I've been working away, but I've been so relieved that I could just do what I want and not feel so pressured. There's several more things that I'm working on, but I'm not going to bore you to tears. I need to finish some things. I just keep going from one project to the other depending on the mood I'm in. And so I don't really feel like I finish anything. I did finish this, and I'm trying to put my fingers on it. Here it is. I'm working real hard on this. This is by Fiber Spider. It's a tutorial for a half pie shawl. And you can't really see it because it's on the needles, and it's so wide now that it's bunched up on the needles, but I'm loving this. And I've just got quite a few more rows to do, but it just makes a half circle. And this is that Karen Colorama Halo yarn. And this is probably what I'm going to work on tonight. But knitting just takes so much more time than crochet. So, but, you know, I feel more confident since I was able to frog this back, re-put it on the needles. Because, I mean, that was a lot of stitches. You see how wide one of these sections are. It wasn't quite this wide at the time, but I put all those stitches back on the needle. So that's my triumph for this episode. I hope that you'll stick with me. I know that I'm very slow at posting. I'm very, I don't have a schedule. I'm just scattered. But I would really like to do Vlogtober. I've just been really wanting to do the short videos, and so maybe I'll say that this is Vlogtober the 9th, and October's my favorite month, y'all. It's my birthday month, and it's beautiful. I will have to say this fall it's going to be a little sad because all of our trees were blown to bits, and they just lost all their leaves while they were still green. So a lot of our trees are not going to be our fall is not going to be as radiant and beautiful as it normally is. So, but I love October. The only problem I'm having is it's flying by, and I didn't have internet for 2 weeks of it. So, I'm trying to catch back up, but I would love to do Vlogtober. I've got so much I want to share with you. I've got new art supplies. I've not painted in forever, and I'd like to show you all my bags in the tub, and I'd like to show you my artwork framed, and just talk, chat, paint, whatever. So I hope that I will be better at filming. But I always hope that, and then it's like 35 days between episodes. So I do apologize. Thank you if you've returned. And if you're new here, it's not always this scattered, but I'm way out of practice because it's been over a month since I filmed. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope everybody's safe. And I just pray that we don't have any more severe storms like the one we had with Hurricane Helen. But thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, day, morning, and I will see you next time. Thank you.